is going this slow, there's only one person on board, it is possible CHP will try a pit maneuver. If they get another patrol car behind them, if they can tip or hit the rear end of that vehicle as it makes a turn, they get it to spin out, get another vehicle come in quickly and pin it. Looks like the suspect is now waving at other motorists going by. So obviously we start to see this type of behavior, and we once again think that there possibly could be mental health issues, drugs and alcohol. It's really hard to say. Only doing 20 miles an hour, traveling northbound on Arlington away from the Santa Monica Freeway, still in that mid-city area. It'll be interesting to see what happens when it comes up on a stop light that is red, and it appears that may have been just turning green. I didn't see opposite direction traffic go through there, but that'll give us an idea just how desperate the suspect is to continue on if he's going to put himself and others into harm's way. We haven't seen that yet. Sort of angling over into opposite direction traffic here. We open up that shot a little bit, I'll be able to see exactly what's coming at the suspect. It looks like he was just coming up on an area where it was down to one lane, maybe some construction, and now has made a right turn onto 17th Street. You see there are 3 patrol cars behind. If he comes to a stop here, hopefully they can take him into custody without incident. Unfortunately, we're not seeing high rates of speed. You know, we watch these things. If the speed is extremely high, especially this time of the morning, we really worry about kids out on their bikes. We worry about other people being hit by this vehicle, hitting other cars. But right now, these surface streets, we're seeing them drive maybe as high as 20 miles an hour, but no higher than that. And it does appear that the suspect was sort of looking for some attention. So it'll also be interesting to see how this plays out, if he's coming into an area that he's familiar with. We saw him waving at other vehicles that were going by in the opposite direction. We're at 3rd Avenue in Venice, now making what looks like a westbound turn onto Venice Boulevard. And it wouldn't surprise me at some point, making a turn at this slow rate of speed, they won't move in and do the pit maneuver. But to do that, they really want to make sure the area is clear. Also, it wouldn't surprise me if soon they exchange this over, or they let LAPD take control of this because we're on their streets now. Even though it started on the freeway, if it stays on the surface streets here in the mid-city area, more than likely LAPD will be the jurisdiction that will take over. And when that happens, sometimes it changes. Sometimes they'll just say, we'll get this guy later, especially if they think that the vehicle came back registered to the person who's driving it. Maybe they have some sort of idea who that is, if it didn't come up stolen, and they may figure it's not worth chasing them. It's interesting how that happens when you go into different jurisdictions. Right now, though, it's still CHP that's on this pursuit. We're slowly traveling westbound on Venice Boulevard, still through that mid-city area. A wide street per se, not affecting traffic yet. But, boy, it certainly could affect traffic if it comes to a stop and a standoff, something of that nature, and we definitely would let you know. Now, every time the suspect comes up on an intersection, he is desperate to get around and to continue to go. At least there, once again, it looks like he went through a red light and didn't appear to slow too much. It didn't seem to be a red light with cross traffic, but maybe the turn lane was only open. He's able to go through that intersection there without hitting anyone or coming close. But those are the types of situations we've seen in the past. We've also seen situations where someone will drive like this, and then all of a sudden their demeanor will change, their attitude will change, and their driving will change, and they'll start to get very aggressive, and then that's when we see people sometimes getting hurt or killed. And right now we don't see that from this suspect. Let's hope it stays the same. We're on Lafayette Drive now, just off of Venice Boulevard, still continuing in a westbound direction here for the most part. And it'd be interesting to see exactly where this suspect is headed. And I just did get some information we've received that they do have approval for the pit. And it wouldn't surprise me if he turns right now. It'd be a perfect time to do the pit maneuver if the vehicle starts to turn. And it looks like they may have gone into a parking structure. Can you open up a little bit, Jamie? I want to see exactly what that is there. Yeah, it's a parking structure on the corner of Venice and San Vincent Boulevard. And it looks like now inside that parking structure there may be another way out. More than likely there is, but more than likely as slow as the suspect was going and how many patrol cars are behind him, they're going to be able to pin him inside the parking structure and take him into custody. You know, it's unclear at this point if the suspect could be armed. We just don't have any information like that. This is a shopping center once again right at the corner of San Vincent Boulevard. and Venice Boulevard, next to Pico, if you're familiar with that area. Say again, Jay? San Vicente Boulevard, I think that's what I said, but and Pico Boulevard is one of the other streets that goes around this. It looks like he just came down on San Vicente. That's what Jay was trying to tell me. Tilt down to the right, Jamie. Okay. So it looks like the suspect went inside that parking structure and was able to go in, maneuver around, and come back out. We do know CHP has got approval for the pit maneuver, and if you see him accelerate and get next to the vehicle, here it comes. Well, he was really thinking about it. He's thinking about cross traffic. He's thinking about the suspect increasing his speed. Here it goes. He's going to tap the end of that, back end of that truck. Probably looking at what's ahead. Want to make sure when he does it, very nice, but not quite enough to get the vehicle completely spin and then get another car wedged in front of him. Now, doing that and not getting it done the first time could make the suspect drive at a higher rate of speed. Trying it again, a little better, perfect. Nobody on the shoulder, another patrol car runs up towards the front of the vehicle, stops it from being able to continue on. And right now what you're going to do is have a standoff. Now, these things get dicey right here. They don't know if the suspect's armed. We're on San Vicente Boulevard at Highland Avenue. Suspect not getting out of the vehicle at this point. You can see two patrol cars in front of him. Their doors open, their guns drawn. They're not certain exactly what they're dealing with here. All we know that the suspect was really wanted for was impeding traffic in the carpool lane in South LA, meaning driving well below the speed limit and slowing traffic. At this point, we'll see if the suspect does decide to give himself up. But right now, that does not appear the case. He may have just thrown something out of the window. It's hard to say exactly what just happened there. But officers have a standoff now here on San Vicente Boulevard. As far as traffic is concerned, there's a pretty good detour around this. You see the suspect reaching over now, grabbing that towel, that sheet, whatever that was. We can sort of see inside the cabin. The real concern in a situation like this is does that suspect have a weapon? And these things get very touchy. He lit up a cigarette, seems to be content to just sit back and relax and see how this is going to play out. Authorities, the officers here, they just do not know if he could possibly have a weapon inside that vehicle, and that's why you're seeing the standoff. And it gets touchy if the suspect does do something like reach for a weapon or come out of that vehicle and point something at officers. That could be tough. Now, the suspect is trying to back up, and the other patrol car did not block him. A little interesting why they didn't take that opportunity to put a patrol car behind him and then just get out of that patrol car. So now it appears, even though we had this stopped, we're once again traveling on San Vicente Boulevard in pursuit mode. So it looked like we were going to have a standoff, and the suspect was able to back up, turn around, and continue on. And Jay Eckstein is with me, always helping me down there. It looks like to him the front right is wobbling a little bit. I sort of see that as well. And that could have happened when the vehicle slipped sideways when they did the pit maneuver. A lot of pressure on that tire and on that rim. It looks like they're going to do the pit maneuver again here. There you go, here it goes. And once again, not quite hard enough, but you do see that right front wheel. It does look a little off. And now it looks like they're going to wedge him in. So we're going to try and get to the other side here so that we can get a better look. But it looks like they've taken the opportunity now to wedge him in. And by I don't believe he'll be able to continue on in this pursuit. You have to come around and get over here. Just make a left turn. You're clear right here. I need to go that way. I see him, but Jay told us the guy made a run for it. Oh, the vehicle overturned. So we lost him behind the tree there for a moment, and it looked like that doing that pit maneuver, it was enough to make the vehicle overturn. The suspect is still inside the vehicle. Now they're going to have to get him medical attention. I don't see an ambulance here quite yet. It looks like they're breaking the window open so they can at least see if he has a weapon and if they can get him out of the vehicle. So they have drug him out of the vehicle now on San Vicente Boulevard at Redondo Boulevard. They're trying to get the suspect into custody here. They'll try and get him face down. They'll get cuffs on him and take him into custody. Unclear if he was injured in the accident when that vehicle overturned. but you could tell sometimes it could be extremely difficult to try and get someone into custody, taking 4 officers there to pin him down and get his hands behind his back. You know, fortunately, no one was injured that we know of in this incident. They did the third pit maneuver, if you will. The second one was somewhat effective. The first one, not at all. The third one was effective in as much as it flipped the vehicle over. And the suspect now is in custody. So San Vicente is going to be shut down here at Redondo for some time, at least for westbound travel. Eastbound travel is going to be fine. It appears the suspect is okay right now. They're first going to make sure he doesn't have a weapon. Doesn't appear to be injured in that crash. He's standing up, and it looks like they're going to take him to a patrol car and take the suspect into custody here. And this is all over without incident. So no one was injured. San Vicente westbound once again, and Redondo will be shut down for a while. Eastbound travel is open. And fortunately, even though that vehicle overturned, it didn't hit another car, and we don't believe that anyone was injured. So it's all over here with the suspect in custody. Copy that. I believe